Welcome back to class. This is another training session on how to use Microsoft Excel to run data analysis. How to use Microsoft Excel to run data analysis. We've done descriptive analysis and regression analysis in the previous lecture. Now we want to look at correlation analysis and Ttest analysis. Is that taken? Alright, this our Excel. Okay, this Microsoft Excel with the data I have. Now you go to your data, you click on data. After data, you click on data analysis. Now I want to run a correlation. You look for correlation tools, correlation to this correlation. Now that's correlation. You click OK. Okay, what are the variables that I want to run as correlation? I want the trade import and export. Trade import and export. I click on the trade is under B column. From that trade, you see now, then you can just click on your shift on your keyboard shift and arrow key down. You see now I'm going down. I have all the three variables B, C, D. I click the arrow key. Now see, it has shown in my inputs. Now see now my input range now is the $B, $1, column, $D to $16. That's 16 here. That's where it stops. It started from this one, $B, $1 to $D to $16. Now I want label to appear. I click correlation. Okay, I say, do I want my result in a new page? The output range, do I want it? If I want it here, I'll click that. But I want my result to appear in a new worksheet page. Then I'll click that one. If it is new book that I want, I will click on it. But I want it in a new sheet. I say OK. I click on OK. This is it now. This is our result. Relationship between this is what I have now. That's relationship. Now see, now the trade and import, the relationship is 0.05119 relationship now. And if you multiply that, just and you know that the correlation has to do with -1 to +1. Your correlation must not exceed 1. If you are correlating the same variable, we are correlating the same variable A and A together, you get 1. Now you see now that the trade and trade, that is 1, because all the value of trade on the column you are correlating with all the value on the row. That's why we have 1. If you see this one too, you see that it is import on the column and import on the row. That's why we have 1, because the same value that you are correlating. If you see this one too, is import is the export on the row on the column and export on the row. That's why we have 1, the same value. And now if you look at this one, that's what we call matrix correlation. Now the relationship between trade and import is this. That is 0.051197, and this is the remaining one here on this panel, formula panel or formula bar. Is that taken? That's it. The relationship between trade and export is this. That's 0.0036. This one is weak.98 between import and export itself. Import and export. That's it here. That's 0.5798. And this 5, this one now, it is what we have at least average positive correlation. This one is too low. This one, because this one is like 57%. When you multiply this one by 100, 57%, you can say average positive correlation. This one now, when you multiply this one by 100, that's 0.3%. You see, and this one is 5% correlation. That's it. That is for correlation. Now let me go to Ttest 2. Now this you go to data, you come back to your data analysis. Then I need Ttest. I need Ttest. Now Ttest with period. Ttest with period. I click on it. I click OK. I want to pair it now. The range of 1, I want to pair GDP and imports. Let me do that one first. GDP or GDP and trade. GDP and trade. That's range 1. Then GDP, that is for range 1. No, sorry. GDP, that GDP here, this one to GDP, that's range 1. Okay, I move to 2 with trade, that's 2. Listen, and that B to 2, that's the first one I want to run GDP and trade together. Now do I need my input? I want label. This one you must put it label. So if you didn't put label, your GDP and trade will not appear, but I want label. I click on labels, start taking now. Then now output, I want my output in a new worksheet plan, in another new worksheet. I click OK, and then I click OK. This Ttest page samples, I click OK. Now this is it now. Is it now? Look at it now. Ttest, that's what we have there. That's what we have there. Oh yes, that's what we have now. Where is our Ttest? This is our Ttest. That's our Ttest. Let's close this one. Okay, so that that is area we want now. Now degree of freedom, is that's DF here 14. We have 15 variables. Our Ttest, the peer Ttest, the GDP, see GDP and trade. Our Ttest value is now 18.433498811. That's our Ttest. Now for 1T, this is the value for 1T. The critical value for 1T, this is it. For probability value for 2T, this is it. Critical for TT, this is it now. But now you come to this is the mean. If you agree now, we've done the discrete analysis, we got the mean the other time, and this is the mean for the trade, the variance, and this is the variance, the observation, this other. Now this one too, I don't even correlation. We have our correlation now. Look at correlation, Pearson correlation, that's PPMC. Correlation between GDP and trade. This is what we have. Negative. That's what we have. Negative 0.1811, 0.181134. That's correlation. The correlation is low. That's a negatively low correlation between the two variables, GDP and trade. It means that maybe when the GDP is increasing, the trade is reducing. That is why you have negative. The negatives are when one is increasing, the other one is reducing. All right. Now the degree of freedom. Now it's a P value is this now. You have this one. Is that taken? You have this hypothesis means 0. These are Ttest value. These are Ttest now. This is what you write out. Now the critical value. Look at this critical value. Look at this critical value for 1T. We have 1. The critical value for 2T. Critical value we have this 3. Now if you compare this, even if you are using critical value for Ttest, which is 2.144, compare with 18. No, this one now is low, while this one is high. Since this one is greater than this one, we say there is, if there is the hypothesis you want to establish, whether there is a relationship between GDP and trade or there is no relationship, this is where you establish it. Since the Ttest, this one is calculated now. This one is calculated. Use it now. The calculated one, this one is called calculated one. The ones is calculated. That's where you have Ttest. The critical is the one that you can check on 4 figure table and compare the means. You know, this one is comparing of the means between this, and that's what we have now. This is what we have. It's so that their means are significant. Is that taken? That is what paired two samples for me. Now I want another one. I click on data and I click on data analysis. Now that's paired one. I need paired Ttest sample assume equal variance, then Ttest two sample assume no equal variance. I click on this one. You can click on that one. Okay, what do I want? I want GDP now. GDP for that range 1. 2, I want export. Okay, now I want labor. Now the alpha, you see now that the alpha value, I forgot to mention that the alpha value is 0.05. Now anything you want to have in that your significant level must not be what? Greater than this one, 0.05. Anything greater than this, there's no significant relationship between the variable testing. I want my results in a new worksheet. I click OK. See, these are results. The result is out. Okay, that's a result. That's a result. Now see our mean, the mean of this GDP, see the same thing, the mean of import. That's what we have, the variance and the variance for the import as well. See, our T-test is 19. Comparing of the mean of unequal variance, and our critical value for one thing is 7.1, and critical, anti-critical, the one that is supposed, because this one is less than t, because our t value now is, this value is less than 19, this 7.1 is less than 9. That's why I say the t less than t. This one is critical value. The critical for 2, for this one too, you have 2.144. See this one, 2.144, and it is less than 19.5737. Therefore, relationship here is telling us that there is a relationship between the GDP and imports. Okay, that is how to run the Ttest analysis. Okay, let's go back. Now I want go to data, you go to Ttest. I've done Ttest. Let me try look for F statistics. Okay, Ttest regression and correlation. Okay, let me just do covariance, or let me do more covariance. You can do any of this one. These are the analysis tools you can do with Excel. Then okay, covariance. Now maybe I want input range. I want this covariance, this now. Alright, group by column, yes. Label in the first row, yes. Output, yes. Okay, you see now, you see covariance. This analysis of covariance, import and import. Now the import and export, we have it now. The export and export, we have it now. This is where you get your result. So this is import column and export row. The meeting here is here now. The analysis of covariance of the two is this. This one is just analysis of covariance of exports, of export, while this one is for import. But the two now, for the covariance, you see now, you see when I put this one, you see when I put this one. Now this one is now analysis of the two. The result for this import and export is this. Is that taken? That's covariance analysis of this. Now the last one I will do is to analyze. Then I want histogram. You can run your histogram. Okay, now the histogram I want trade histogram on the trade. Okay, because of the time, let me close this one. So that's how to run using Excel to run the data analysis, and you see get the same result as the SPSS. Is that taken out? I believe you enjoy it. Thank you. God bless you.